Late in the evening, the sun bleeding through the pines, the broken land about going shadowed and blue. Wendell turned to find the boy sitting ramrod straight on the bench seat, like he'd been most of the day. Scrawny shoulders cockeyed, eyes wide as skipping rocks. Wendell figured Glenn would most likely work them until midnight to try to catch up, and remembering the tall bedtime tales his old man used to spin for him, he thought he might tell a story to help the boy relax, maybe even curl up and close his eyes. What say I tell a story? What would you say to that? The boy turned and blinked, waited. All right then, let me get a dip here first. Wendell reached for the can of Copenhagen he'd left on the dash, thumped it once and set it on his thigh. Fall Back Down When I Die is a book about rural people, rural spaces, specifically eastern Montana. It's about wolves and land use and violence. It's about the ways we see each other and don't see each other. It's about the ways we can become more than who we are, especially when we're put into situations that task us, that challenge us, that ask us to stretch ourselves. And though it's a book in which things don't go exactly right, I do think it's a book too that might see a way forward, that might see a way that we can talk with one another and that we can step a little bit more closely together. Wendell told the boy about the long days of tilling and leveling and planting in the spring, the hope of rain hooked to the inside of you like a weight on your heart. And now when the rain comes, hope pulls the other way, lifting the heart like the rain does the green shoots, which poke up and lengthen, and before you know it, dry to gold and deeper gold. He told the boy about the tremendous red machine of the combine, the spinning forks that feed the wheat to the cutter bar, the triangle blades that snip the wheat, the thresher that does the sorting, sending chaff spinning out behind the combine onto the stubbled field and collecting hard red durum in the hopper. Until the combine makes for the edge of the field, the auger bar straightens out and the wheat spills into the empty bed of the truck. It always begins with landscape for me. Where I am matters to me as a human being immensely. I think place allows us to be who we are in many ways and disallows certain aspects of us, of ourselves. And so when we go to a new place, we really are new people. To be on new ground is to be someone new. And so it begins for me in place, and it begins in the ways that people might see that place, the ways people are working with that place or working against it, the ways that their lives are sustainable on that space or not. And so for me, it began with that place and looking at the Big Dry and the Bull Mountains of eastern Montana, the place that I grew up, but looking at it through other eyes, thinking about it in ways that I haven't personally thought about it, but the ways that others might. I think all literature aspires to try to bind us a little more closely together. It's only in literature that we get to step into some other's mind, and that's a huge thing. It's a really powerful thing. It's an empathy machine. It's a way to stretch ourselves, to become more than what we are as we close a book. And so I hope Fall Back Down When I Die does that. I hope that we're asked to step into a place that not many people have been. We're asked to step into it and look at it in different ways. And I especially think for this book, it's considering our political moment where a lot of people are trying to understand what's going on between the coasts and the interior and trying to reckon with those political divisions and the ways that it seems like we're not seeing the same things. I hope this book might allow both sides to understand that we're all human beings and we're trying to figure this out, and there are reasons for some of the ways we look at the world, and we might not agree, but there are reasons, and we're all struggling to try to see it as clearly as we can. The sweet, bracing burn of tobacco was in his throat. The boy had curled himself into the passenger side door, eyelids drifting, falling shut. The two of them were close enough to touch, but they were not touching. They were alone in the old rattletrap grain truck, traveling through the dark, one small, true, utterly unseen thing in a universe of such things.